It's time for bird of the day! Oh, have we got a bird for you today? I mean, we got a bird every day. But today, we got a bird. And it's gonna be a good bird. You're gonna like this bird. Good bird. So what bird is it? Bird of the day today is the Sora! The Sora. Oh, you never heard of Sora? Oh, they're kind of the interesting thing about the Sora is they're a common but elusive bird. Welcome. Pretty little brown bird's got the good long legs, got that bright yellow beak, some cool red eyes. These pretty cool little birds. Let me tell you a little bit about the Sora. So, they're not super big, about 7.5 to 11.8 inches long, so, smaller than a crow. A little bit bigger than like a robin. So, kind of a medium-sized bird. So they got about a 13.5 to 15.7-inch wingspan. Don't weigh too much, 1.7 to 4 ounces, so, less than a pound. Light bird. And the thing is, this bird's been a little bit elusive, and so they're not really sure how long these fellas live, but they estimate that the lifespan is probably averages about 4 or 5 years. But longest one ever lived? Not really sure. Wasn't able to find that information. Maybe some ornithologists know that somewhere, but not in any of my usual sources. So I don't know. But if you see their distribution map, as you can see, they are mostly a North and Central American bird. So the orange area there is where you're going to find them in the, what's it called, a breeding season. So kind of about now to late August, early September. And the blue areas where you're gonna find them October to March. It's gonna be the wintering season. And the yellow, that's where you can find them year round. And I guess they're like the American South or something. Or you're mostly gonna find these birds is hanging out in wetlands and marshlands. That's what they like. That's where they hang out. They like the water, but not too deep water, not big lakes. They like the water being between like 8 and 20 inches deep. That's their perfect depth. That's where the snacks they like to eat are. And so you may have heard of the family of bird called rails. Well, the Sora is a type of rail. Well, a rail bird. So, as I was saying, that they hang out in the tall reeded areas by the water's edge. And so, like, they like to hide in those tall reeds and just be like, I'm a sneaky bird. You can't see me. Sneaky. I'm hiding here. But I'm going to come out and poke my head out and find a snack. But yeah, they said they're very secretive and shy. If they hear a bigger animal coming, they're going to duck into those tall grasses and they're going to hide. So, in order to see one of these, you gotta be very patient and very quiet. Because if they hear humans, they're gonna hide. So it's one of those birds where they're actually very common, where a lot of people are around, but they're not often seen because they don't like. They see a people, they hear a people, they hide away. So they say the Sora, you're actually more likely to hear one than you are to see one. And so, well, what does it sound like? It sounds like this. Hi, Squeaky. Squeak. Squeak again. Yeah, Squeaky. There's Squeaky. So yeah, if you're walking quietly through marshlands and you hear that loud, high-pitched squeak, you might just have a Sora near you. So one interesting thing that's been found is that when they reach kind of their territory for a summer, they build multiple nests. And some of the nests are where they bring food back to eat. Some of them they just kind of hang out there. But then they have one dedicated nest that they have for eggs. And these birds have pretty big clutches of eggs. They only do one a year. But boy, it's 10 to 12 eggs in one clutch. And they've even recorded up to 18 little eggs in the clutch. And usually the way it works is that the male will go out and grab materials and bring it back to the female, and the female will build the nest. So she's the builder, he's the supplier. That's usually what they found out is the way it works. But once the little baby chickie's born, both parents are gonna venture out to go get it. But usually, a lot of times, eggs, they all like hatch around the same time. Like, I mean, like within a couple hours of each other. But this one, the first egg might be hatching over a week before the last egg is hatching. So it'd be kind of like a little older siblings and stuff. But usually the parents try and do a pretty good job. Of course, as is typical with most ones, usually the older birds are more likely to survive. But that's just the way it is. But yeah, Dad helps out, and then usually they leave the nest after about a week. And then they, actually, about 4 weeks is when they're kind of growing up and fledged, and they say, "Bye, Mom and Dad. I'm gonna go be my own bird now," and it's just what they do. Now, interesting about this bird is that sometimes it's used as a game bird, because I guess, I don't know why, it doesn't seem like they are a very meaty bird. I don't feel like they're very good. Maybe just hunt for sport, which I don't like that. I don't like hunting birds for sport. That's bad. That's bad. I don't like hunting birds at all. I mean, I understand the conservation that goes into duck hunting, and that actually can help them out, but that's a long, complicated subject. But hunting these guys, come on, don't do it. And such, 19 states have made it illegal to hunt them. They are not considered game birds in those states. And then, but yeah, socially, they're not super social birds. Basically, they will pair up for life, and they'll find a mate. And then they'll kind of stick with that, but they don't really flock up too much, except in the wintertime. You'll see, some smaller flocks of them, but they're not a big social flock kind of bird. They're mostly, hey, I'm gonna hang out with my mate. We're gonna raise some babies every year, and then it's gonna go. But it's kind of interesting when two single Soras meet each other. Both the male and the female do a little bit of a mating display. They kind of stare at each other, then they fluff up a little bit, bounce around, do a little dance, and if they decide they like each other, then they'll actually spend like a couple weeks or so. They date, and they'll preen each other, and they'll sing to each other and do stuff, and then it's usually actually after a few weeks is when they finally decide, hey, should we make babies? And then they make babies. And then after that, they still do some of the mating display stuff to be like, hey, I want to make some babies, but they do it with their mated pairs, and it's just cool. And so, yeah, they do that. So, yeah, it's pretty neat. So, my thoughts on the Sora? Well, I think they're pretty neat little birds. Nothing too fancy. I wish there was a little bit more information about them, but, they're very secretive little birds. I can respect that. Introbirds. Yeah, they're introbirds. Yeah, that's what I call them. And so it's cool. They live their life, have lots of babies. They seem to be doing okay, and, hanging out in the marshlands, eating small little fishies and little baby frogs and insects, and wintertime more, you eat a little more vegetarian diet in the wintertime. But yeah, it's pretty typical. Yeah, they're good little birds. Good little birds. I think they're cute. Didn't know too much about them. I was surprised to find out how common they were, despite the fact that I don't think I've seen too many of them. Well, and there's the budgie pair. And here's where we have Budgie Eater despairing that Budgie Eater was too late. Sorry, you're at the end of it. But thanks for the raid, Budgie Pair and Budgie Eater. It's good to have my Budgie pals coming and hanging out. It's good times. But yeah, we were talking about the Sora. This bird is called the Sora. And Corvus thinks, yeah, pretty good bird. Not a great bird, but it's a good bird. I like it. I'm going to keep my eye out for him, but more importantly, I'm going to keep my ears out for him. Because as we said, you're more likely to hear these fellas than you are to see them. So keep your ears open when you're heading near marshlands, and you might just get a glimpse of the Sora. Offer available only in North America and the northern parts of South America. And now I'm going to drink some water.
Drink some water.
Tasty water. All right, well, we're gonna call this bird of the day done. We're gonna back to Ori, and I hope that you all have yourself a wonderful day.